we as the people who want to vote for him for old Joe here, we have to think about that because I know that he's been getting a lot and lot of drawbacks from a lot of people, a lot of folks that I would have never thought that would have given him um, a hard time or to bring that reality check and everything and stuff to him. That no matter how they prop him up to go out and everything, he he still shows signs of being that old man. He's showing those signs, Ted. He's showing those signs as he walks. He's real careful. He's shaking about his walk and all that. He can't get out there and, like I said in the last show, doing that Barack Obama pimp. He can't do that. He can't pimp down that ramp off of the Air Force One. You can't dance down there. And it's showing. But the most important thing I think is that the numbers out there and everything, if you look at the polling, and that's not, like I said, that was one of the topics and stuff that we supposed to been to discuss today is about the polling that's going on with him. His numbers don't look that bad, but it doesn't look that great in the areas and the states and stuff and everything that he should be killing this man. If you
Should
look
be.
at them, if you look at those polling numbers, he's beating them, but he's barely beating them in known Democratic strongholds. Look at New York; he's just leading them by 2 points and stuff there, and he should. That's a Democratic stronghold. New York, the state of New York, he should be in the 50s and the 60s and stuff there. And when you see that happen and stuff and everything, he's bleeding where he shouldn't be bleeding at. Now, the states like Oklahoma, Nebraska, and places like that, you expect him to lose, or Wyoming, you expect him to get beat up real bad because those are conservative strongholds. You expect him to get beaten pretty bad in Indiana and Mexico and stuff like that, but you don't expect the kind of beating, the kind of showing that he is making and stuff and everything in his own states and stuff that he should be winning by a huge polarity. And I think that they're looking at those numbers and stuff that is coming out of those states, the Democratic states. But one thing though that is really showing is that in a lot of those states, man, there's a lot of folks, man, who are undecided. A lot of undecided votes. And I believe that they're waiting and stuff to see what the heck happened. And I don't believe that Obama, he is not saying, he's not telling him but he is not standing up for him like Joe did when he was the vice president. When he was the vice president, he always stood behind Barack. I don't care what the heck happened, even when he didn't believe in what he was saying, he stood behind him and he always backed him up. And I think Biden is hoping that he would back him up and everything right now. But I think Obama is, and the rest of them are being realists. And they probably looking at the fact and everything that, hey, he may not win, but they can't, if he doesn't win, they cannot lose those down ballot positions. They can't lose the Senate. They can't lose the House of Representatives because those are the firewall. If Trump does get the nomination and wins the presidency, that's the firewall they got because he can't do nothing unless he's got both the Senate and the House and stuff and everything that are behind him. So I don't know. I think also that if you're going to tell a man that he should step down, who gonna take his place?
Right. They don't even have nobody.
Who gonna take his place? You can't tell that man. Tell the man who gonna take his place. Who are you going to get to take his place? If he's not the one, then who is? But nobody wants to come forth and everything and stand up because they don't want to get bit. And I know that there's a whole lot of them who are standing around Ted who want that job if he doesn't, if he says, I'm not going to be there. But you're probably going to have to tell him who's going to take his place and that this person and stuff has the best chance of winning. And I don't know if they can do that or not. And you ain't got a whole lot of time, man. What, 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks at the most? You're going to have a Democratic convention. So I don't know, my friend. I don't know what we're going to do, but I hate to have this stuff be part of our show and everything. And as soon as we start, but those are realities that are sitting out there. So I don't know. So let's go ahead on, man. What about this? What did you say? I wrote it down here. I don't know what the heck I did with it. Project 2025.
Yeah, we're going to talk about education.
Yeah, okay. Well, most of the folks are looking at Project 2025 out there, but I was looking on YouTube today, and they had old Jazz up there, and she was trying to tell them that, hey, they've already started Project 2025. They haven't waited. They already started. So I don't know. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
Well, education, their whole goal is they're not going to get rid of all the public schools, but most of them will be shut down, and they're going to allow what they call as low-income families that would like to take their monies and move it to another school, private school or religious school. That's their main goal. Take all
in education.
the money out.
In education. Okay.
In education.
Okay.
They want to take all that money out. They want to just vamp it out, and the refunding, they'll keep some portions of it in some public schools because, some public schools are doing just fine. And what the main thing is what they want to do. They want to, there will be no more gender recognition, it's male, female only. No CRT. There will be no, the thing with them is that they claim that the reading scores have gone down considerably.
They
They want to up that. They want to up the math. All of those things is what education want to do now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
However, the thing that bothers me is that their agenda is to gut all low-income schools. That's their goal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want your child to go to school, you can send them across the on the other side of the street,
Mm-hmm.
across the tracks,
Mm-hmm.
where it's going to be a private or a religious school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that some of these parents, if they implement this or get a chance to, and I'm sure they're going to continue to do this. This is their goal. This is an ongoing thing. It's been an ongoing thing for the last 20, 25 years, You know, they've been implanting into because they took over the post office, you know. So they one by one, they're taking over all of these different departments. In education, they've been trying to, they destroyed education when they had, what's her name, one of a billionaire be over the education when Bush was in office. No, when Trump was in office. And she basically destroyed it. And then all the state governors, Republican governors, they've already implemented it. Tennessee has, they have already practically done it. They're doing it. You know, telling people they can go ahead on and take their tax dollars and move it to another school, charter school or private school. So their goal is to just totally get rid of all the public schools. And this is not, I would say, it's partly the teachers union's fault. Because there's so many things that they try to do because of certain communities. They have to be the social worker. They have to provide food. They have to be the nurse. They have to be, and sometimes, you know, they have to be the mother and the father in some of these low-income communities. They have to deal with homelessness. There's so many kids that's homeless going to school. So what they should have been trying to do, in my opinion, is have, when they find that they have all of those issues, they should have a separate building for these problem area children to assist them.
So what you're trying to say and stuff now is that if this thing does happen, these are the things that you think should be included and stuff in whatever changes and stuff they plan on making in the education department.
Well, no, I'm saying I mean, they're just going to gut it out, bro. They're going to gut a lot of these schools out and they're going to just shut them down.
Well, my
But
point,
what I'm saying is if they don't, if the what they call it, MA, National Teachers Education or Union or whatever it is, the union, and then they all have a local union. So what they need to be doing is trying to promote some kind of way that these troubled schools that's having problems, and you know, financially, all the kids that's going to those public schools are not having financial problems. There's a certain percentage that are having financial problems and mental problems. But what they've done is they've put all of these, I would say, disabled kids in regular schools. Because I told you, I used to be a substitute teacher, and they would have disabled kids in there. They would have people that were, you know, really not mentally capable, and it would slow the process up as far as doing their schoolwork. And that's the problem. See, what they want is a perfect child to come in there ready to learn. You know, and that, you know, and I'm just saying, you look at the difference. You can look at the difference on one side of town is one way, and another side of town is another way. And so they're not really looking at the real picture of what's going on in the whole community, because there are special needs or certain things, you know, that needs to be done in certain communities. You know, when you're looking at a middle class family, you know, they can drop their kids off pick them up. They already got their lunch money, or they didn't pay for their lunch, or they got their lunch cart with them. They ain't got to worry about it. Everything is cool. They ain't got to worry about their clothing, making sure their shoes is okay and all that. But when you got a low income families and you dealing with that, kid is shamed because they got holes in their shoes or whatever the case may be. So the thing is that the schools in these low income, they handle all their problems. These teachers are dealing with this academic of all kind of low value, undervalued communities, and they not all black, and they not all Latino. It's a mixture. So they're trying to come up with a solution, but I think their thing is a drift. They just want more money put into the white community, into their own community. That's what they want, and then they'll get the right ones, and they'll let them go in. If the parents are serious about their kids, they're gonna get them. But it's the ones that's gonna be left behind. That's the problem. Gonna be a lot of kids left behind.
Well, in a way, Ted, that's what's going on right now. What you talking about that they plan on doing, it's going on right now. And I know it's going on because I see it right here where I live at in our community. It's mostly white affluent folks and stuff who live here. They have their own schools and stuff that they have set up for their kids and stuff and everything. Their goal is to let the kids go there, educate them, and 96 or 97% of them going to these schools are going off to college, and they are graduating, and they are going to be going to college, and they're going to succeed because they make an effort and stuff to do that. There are enclaves of this stuff going on right now, and I guess it's you have those haves and have-nots, and I guess they want to expand the haves and the have-nots. If you don't have it, then you and the have-nots, and you don't have the have-nots and stuff they're gonna have to struggle on their own. They're gonna have to fight for themselves. They're gonna have to do what they have to do for themselves. And I'm looking here at the state of Georgia, and like I said, they have these enclaves, man, of these excellent schools, top-notch schools in the country, right around in here in our area, and they like it that way. They this community loves it, and they look at the fact that the low income folks and everything, they keep them out of their community. They don't want people and stuff here who can't afford to be here. And I think it's wrong, but it's going on, and there's nobody who is fighting it. So I think, Ted, that no matter what happens, if Trump becomes the president or Biden finds a way to get through and get to his second term and everything, we still going to have a problem in education, no matter who's going to be president. And Biden has been in the job to be 4 years here, just a little bit. And the things in our community and what's going on around us has not changed. The education has not changed. The kids in the low income areas, they don't get the things that they need to educate the low income kids because, and we have talked about this before, the parents have to get out and fight for these children. They have to. Yeah, I know it's hard for them to take them to school and bring them back. They're gonna put them on a school bus, but you have to do the things that we've done all the time to educate your children. And if you don't do that, your children are gonna fall behind. And what you're gonna do is you got to fight. And I mean, every day, just like you do going to work, you fight going to work, find you a good job and everything. You got to do the same thing with your children because they are your future. They are the most important thing that we got going on. And the fact that if you don't do what's needed and stuff and everything, we're continuing to create a society and stuff of uneducated children who are getting into adulthood and they are not prepared to get out there in this world because this world is changing, man, quick. And if they're not ready, they're going to become frustrated out there. Big problem. So I'm getting myself ready, Ted, is what I'm trying to tell you, that if Trump does become the president and they try to pull this Project 2025 crap on us, we're going to have to be ready for that battle. We can't just give up because they bring in Project 2025 here. So I think our thing and stuff is to tell our audience and stuff what's coming, just like you saying right now. This is coming. These people plan on changing your educational department, and we're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to stand up and fight. Put your head in the sand and hope the problem goes away because it ain't. Because the only people who are going to be suffering as far as education and stuff is the little ones who are going to school. They are the ones who are
Well,
going to suffer.
that's the whole thing, because the one thing that has to be done is assistance with daycare.
Mm-hmm.
That's taking a big chunk out of people's pocketbook. I mean, you have people, middle class, so-called middle class families, they can't even afford daycare. They're spending $2,000 a month on daycare with small kids.
We spoke about that, I think, about 2 shows ago, and I guess you're trying to reiterate and stuff in the fact that that is going on there.
Well,
And
the thing is, the one thing, by raising 4 children, children are extremely expensive and time consuming. And it's part of your economics as far as your progress, as far as, lack of a better word, building wealth. Because you have to invest in your kids.
mm-hmm.
And you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of your money on your kids because you have to you got to entertain them. You
Mm-hmm.
got to buy their clothes. You got to buy
Mm-hmm.
their food. You have to educate them. And when you have people that are monetizing everything to try to get your dollar and overcharging you in every way, that's why the reason why you pay taxes. You pay taxes, property tax, you pay sales tax, all of those things, and 2,000. If you're paying $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year that you're paying for one child. That's 12,000. I'm gonna say that again. $12,000 a year for one child. It wasn't no easy fit for me, but for a while we had to pay daycare and we had 2 children. And then we didn't have to pay that much. It was only $100, $150, a month, or $200 a month. So, so the bottom line is, I mean, these daycare people want to get paid, and they rightfully should get paid. But the point
Mm-hmm.
is, there should be some type of subsidy.
So what you were saying, Dan, is that if they do try to implement this whole thing, then somebody needs to stand up and say, hey, if you're going to implement these programs and stuff into our education department, then you need to include funding for daycare, or you need to include funding and stuff for tutoring and stuff in these schools. You
Yeah,
need to include funding and stuff for after school care when the school is over with and everything, and the parent is not at home. They need to have some after school care. that you need to automatically, I don't care what school you go to and everything, uh, you should, every school should have a nutritional program that is free.
Yeah.
You feed those kids, all of them. Anybody kid that comes in there, they'll have to be fed. They have to have a good nutritional meal. So that means district wide, and far as your school board is concerned, with district wide and stuff, they have monies and stuff that they are being given to for a nutritional program. So you know that there are going to be food and stuff there for the children there. And if you're talking about elementary school and everything, there is snack time, automatic snack times for kids when they are there in school, and it is included into their curriculum. And if you're going to do it that way, and
Well,
go
that
ahead.
too. And then also, now you're looking at right now, people don't want to work for less than $20 an hour now.
Mm-hmm.
You got bus drivers now requesting $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So you got janitors want more. So all of these people, the salaries is just taking over. And to be quite honest with you, I don't have the answer. I mean, you got some people that's saying, okay, I'm able to stay home and I'm going to homeschool my child.
Mm-hmm.
That means you don't have to take them to school every day. You got to worry about that. You can just teach them for 4 or 6 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
and you're done. And then you might take them to the mall or might take them to the YMCA to get a little exercise, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big movement. But instead of them improving each elementary, mid-sized school, and then high school, improving certain needs, they don't do it. All they're doing is just taking things, taking problems, doing problems. When you have a problem, they try to handle the problem instead of getting ahead of the game.
Let me throw some out. Also, that it takes money and everything to do what, even if they bring in Project 2025, it's going to take money to implement their program. It's going to take money. What I have seen, and I think a lot of communities don't take advantage of this. And what they have brought into our county, Cobb County in Georgia, where I live at, they have implemented a usury fee that they put into every 4 years. They decide that they want to have this fee to come in, and they have charged, I think, 2% tax and stuff and everything on anything you buy in the county, and that 2% tax is put into a pool, and that money is used for new schools, new fine art centers, um, new buildings. And you can imagine, man, that 2%, every time you buy something, they're going to put a 2% tax on it. So if you're spending $1, 2 cents of it is going to be your taxes, and that's going to go. So you pool all that stuff together and stuff and everything, and you got a huge amount of money that's sitting out there. And that's what they have done and stuff, implemented in this area. And man, it has been a windfall for our schools and stuff, our streets, everything that's going on. That money and stuff goes to pay for all that. And most of the people and stuff in here in this area who out there buying it, they don't miss those 2 cents off of that $1. So it works for us. So I'm saying that in other places and stuff like that, especially in our 50, 60% communities and stuff and everything where uh we are fighting for money, fighting for dollars and everything. And that was one of the things and stuff, Ted, that I wanted to mention and stuff when we brought up that issue and stuff that happened in Jackson, Mississippi about their water that got all screwed up. And I was saying at that time and stuff that I fought the city council and stuff there in the state in the city of Jackson and everything because they could have implemented a 1 or 2% sales tax usury fee that they could have used into a pot to improve their water system, knowing that it was going to be going down. Now, that was their choice. I'm just throwing out an idea. So I don't see us and stuff using our heads to improve our lives. And I think that we have to start thinking about that. You got to think outside that box. I don't care what's going on. You think outside the box because there's other ways and stuff of doing things than the normal way. We always go around, well, all we're going to get is our property tax money and we got to use their property tax money and that's all we're going to be able to do. And people can afford this. Well, just like you sitting there and every now and then you tip that glass of wine up and everything. So if you said, well, I drink 4 glasses of wine a day, and so I want to get rid of 1 glass of wine and just drink 3 glasses of wine, and the money that I'm spending and everything for that 4th glass of wine and that celebratory cigar. Instead of having 2 of them a day, I have 1 celebratory cigar. And the money that I save from missing out on that 1 glass of wine and that other extra cigar and everything, I can put that into a pot.
Well, what you're saying is right as far as people trying to save money or be disciplined enough. But the bottom line is, to be quite honest with you, it's enough money. But the money is not being distributed correctly. I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
The state of Florida has set aside money for low-income housing.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of dollars. You know what they do? They use that money for something else. So you can't trust the state.
But you can. But when you put those bond issues and stuff out to the voter, then the voters and stuff can designate to say this money cannot be spent. You don't put this money in the general fund. This is the fund for low income housing, and that's it. You can't take it out of there because if you notice that anytime that the federal government sends the money and stuff down to the states, that money has to be spent for whatever that they have implemented that money to be used for. And
well, like I said, it's just like President Biden said this. He said when he sent that money out for people, he wished he would have designated that money to go to certain people. But he sent it to the states, and the states distributed it to who they wanted. See, the thing is, this systemic, racism is just unbelievable, man. I'm telling you, because see, the low income people or undervalued people are not getting their share. They pay taxes just like everybody else. They might not pay property taxes, but they're paying taxes because they're paying their rent. So, and hey, there's gonna be a place in hell for a lot of these people how they then cipher off the top of money and have not distributed and been fair with treating people correctly. With the disparity in schools, you can say you live in a nice neighborhood, but when you come out of a low income, undervalued neighborhood, those people are just barely getting by. So how can they move up when they always got a foot on their neck? And they're not really, they designate, because people are very generous. People are very generous. The American people are very generous, and they want to help the undervalued people, poor people, homeless people. But when they don't use that money like they should, these big wigs that's in office, that's the problem. So they can blame poor people if they want to, but I know, I lived around a bunch of kind of poor people, and they was all right with me. Wasn't no big problem. Wasn't no issues. So, and it's really no issues right now with poor people. The issue is that when you allow and you don't do the right things to those communities, like you do in other communities, that's the problem. They don't distribute the money fairly. These people, all they want to do is they're going to take that money, that whatever their budget is, 200 billion, 250 billion, whatever it is, they're going to take that money and distribute it to their own communities. That's exactly what they're going to do with it. And they're going to say, hey, because I can read you something right now. This is what they say in the education thing. Let me read it to you. Because put my glasses on so I can see here. I was trying to put it on my laptop, but I can't seem to do that. But I got it on my thing here. Let me see if I can find it. Mandate. Just give me 1 second. What page is this on? They got 44 pages on this educational thing. And I'm gonna tell you, they want to just gut this educational thing plumb out. They might have $3 billion just to administer, something or whatever, but they're gonna gut this thing, bro. It might take them 10 years, it might take them 20 years, but they're gonna gut it.
Well, it may need to be gutted, Ted. Something's got to happen because what's going on now, it's not getting the job done. As
Well,
we
I just
can see,
explained to you why it's not.
as we can see, something needs to happen. Now, I don't know what their idea is going to be the best idea, but I know something's going to have to happen because you can't continue along this line of where we're going when our education for our children and stuff is going down instead of going up. It's not even leveled out on a plateau. We're still going down. So
Well,
we're
I'm
going
gonna
to
tell
have
you
to figure out a way to get it.
when President Obama was over education, his educational czar, education went up. More kids graduated from high school, more kids was going to college ever before. That's the one thing. He did a lot of good things, but people couldn't feel it.
That was 8 years ago now. Okay. Right. That's 8 years ago.
Right.
Okay. So
and we had 4 years
in
of
the
Trump.
last 8
Of
years
Trump, and they was gutting education, and
right.
they put so much fear in a lot of these so-called white folks to do home and charter schools and private schools. Take your money out of public school and go to a private school. or just go to a charter school.
But I don't think that was the only problem that was going on there. They had a lot more other stuff going on than just taking the money and stuff out of the public school
What
and
else could
sending
it
their
be?
kids. Well, because and the reason why I'm saying that is that the kids and stuff and everything who were going to public school, they are allotted so much money for their child to go to public school. So if the child leaves that public school, then and takes the money and stuff with them over into the private school and everything, and the kids and stuff go there because they can afford to go there, then you're not the public school is not taking care of their child now that's going to the other school. So you don't have to have any resources and everything going toward their child because their child is not there. So if his child's not there, then whatever money is coming in for the rest of the kids, then you need to use that to take care of those kids and stuff who were already there. So if you take one kid out and they only taking their one price that they would have allocated for them anyway out, it shouldn't affect the school at all. So evidently there was a systemic problem and stuff going on even before that happened. And that's the thing that we probably need to be looked at and dealt with. But I understand the analogy and stuff of the other folks and stuff and everything. They're saying that, well, we have this pool of money and that's because this one kid and stuff leaves and everything, that money that kid should have should stay there. But it actually doesn't stay there, because if you homeschool that kid and the kid is not there, then the school is not getting the money anyway. That's how the state budgets the money. They go by how many kids in your school, how many kids are going to school that day, and that's how much money you get. So if a kid
That's
is
true.
absent, you ain't getting that money. So it's the system is still the same, no matter if the money is taken from the public school and sent to the private school, you still get the same amount of money that you're supposed to get according to the formula that the states and stuff have and stuff for those kids. Because I know that when I was in Illinois, that's what happened. The public school system sent their registration stuff every day, sent their stuff to the state of Illinois education. And the state of Illinois allocated money according to how many people and stuff were there in their school that day. That's
That's
money they
true.
got.
That's the way they
So
work.
so pulling the kids out and sending them to school, it doesn't change the dynamics of the money. But I can
Well,
understand where you want to keep the money and stuff into the public school system and stuff and everything, because the more money you have in the public school system and everything, then you're going to be able to take that money and improve the public school system. But that's not happening. It's not being improved. Anyway, that's
right.
that's
We're
my
not
that, that's
gonna.
my take
I
on.
mean,
We got
we'll come
our
back to
time is
this.
running short here, and you
We,
got another subject here, Mr. Harvey, that I want to find out about. What is this ALUM?
ALUM.
Yeah, you
No,
sent me the agenda
AUM.
item. Huh?
AUM. That's another financial money manager, just like uh, BlackRock. Both of them have $10 trillion.
Oh, so what does ALUM stand for then?
AUM.
Yeah, ALUM. Yeah. You had that as a topic down there. That's why I was asking you, because you have Project 2025,
Well,
and I
those
wanted
were
to get
two.
your other topic in here.
No, what I was really relating to is that, and I didn't want to go into detail or anything like that, because these companies, they invest in Google, Microsoft, Facebook, General Motors, all they got hundreds of companies that they have money into. They
Oh,
buy
so
they buy millions of shares. I ain't talking about hundreds of shares,
yeah.
millions of shares.
So ALUM is something like what you would call
Not
a mutual
ALUM,
fund.
is AUM.
AUM?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was ALUM. Okay, so they're like a mutual fund.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, they're investors like BlackRock.
Oh,
Assets
okay.
under management. So what they do, what these companies do, they buy up all of these companies, and they might have 10%, 5%, 3% in each one of these companies. And their portfolio is huge. But what they've now started to do is they start lobbying for what they want to the politicians. And they spread their money for things that's going to benefit their corporation. Then they give a certain amount of money to Goodwill. You know, that's what most companies do, Goodwill. And they helping all of these other nonprofit organizations to promote what they want to do. So you have companies that's worth 10 trillion. You got companies that's worth 5 trillion. You got companies just a couple trillion.
So
But the point is what I'm trying to make is that when you have all of these corporations that's trillions and trillions of dollars. You know, we was making a big whoop to do when was it Apple when it reached $3 trillion.
mm-hmm.
That's nothing.
I know. I know.
It's
It's nothing
nothing.
for them, for their company and stuff. But what I want to the questions I want to ask and stuff is how does AUM and BlackRock interact with Wall Street? Are they separate entities, or are they own their own bodies and stuff? Because with that kind of money that they have using and stuff and everything, it seems to me that they can almost run their own stock market here.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So instead of calling the New York Stock Exchange, we should be saying we used to call it the BlackRock Stock Exchange or AUM Stock Exchange.
If you own 20 million shares of Facebook or 20 million shares of Microsoft, you know, you're talking a lot of money that you have put into those companies.
So who
So
owns?
you can even have people in your company on those boards.
Right.
So what kind of influence do they have on those boards?
They got a hell of a lot of influence.
Yeah, because number one, you got 20 million shares of our company. So the thing is that this is how powerful these people are. You know, Larry Finch is the guy's name that owns BlackRock. He's the main guy on Larry Finch. The bottom line is, if you ever read his story and his bio and how he started this company, it's unbelievable, man. You know, and how he got his money. He went out begging for people to invest in his company.
So he's almost like the Berkshire Hathaway.
Pretty much. Pretty
Okay.
much. And the only thing is, he's bigger than them.
Oh, he's bigger than them.
Yeah.
So why haven't we heard about them?
I
At
don't
least
know
I
about
haven't.
you.
I haven't heard about it. I heard about BlackRock and Blackstone, but I haven't heard about AUM
Blackstone is a break off from
from
BlackRock.
BlackRock. Right. Well, BlackRock is a break off from Blackstone,
Right.
but I haven't heard of AUM. I didn't know that they were even out there, or that they were bigger than the old man over
Yeah, they
there
10
in,
trillion too.
huh?
They 10 trillion strong too. And they got their money invested all over the world. All over the world. They got offices all over the world.
So the people and stuff, the guy who started this whole daggone thing, then he should be on that billionaire list then somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's a billionaire.
Oh, okay.
Ain't no question about that. But he's so low key, it's ridiculous. Every once in a while you'll catch him on a business channel talking or whatever. He don't do as many interviews. He don't have to now, but because he's got all his investors, you know, they have investors, hundreds of thousands of investors, people, millionaires invest in them because they take care of them and they get their 20%, 25%, profit. And they do a lot of fixed income stuff, like people, your retirement money that you get, they invest that retirement money so it can keep growing. And so because they got to pay that retirement money out every month. So, and that's a big deal. But pretty soon, they already know this. Everybody is cutting out retirement. Almost everybody. The last people that's got it is your federal government got retirement. Like your post office, they got retirement. Certain companies, your fire people got retirement. Your police office got retirement. And they invest that money for them. They get those big, gigantic accounts. And that's what people be trying to get those retirement accounts, because that's ready money, because it's always being fed into. You see what I'm saying? So all I was saying, the reason why I wanted to bring it up is that people don't realize how controlling these corporations are. They are dictating us as a people. And now they're getting into politics so heavy that they flat out and they're telling you what they're doing. Look what we already talked about this. Elon Musk, 45 million a month to 45. So, you got other companies. This guy named I think he spelled it HTHIER THIR or something like that, Thier or something like that. He's giving money by the millions. So the thing is, when you're talking about buying politicians, that means they have obligated to do what they say, not what the people say. So that's why we're having this problem right now.
They're putting they're putting financial pressure and stuff on politics.
That's right, because they got to have that money to get the word out. Because they don't go out, and the only time they might have little campaign gatherings, once a week or twice a week, but really, how many people do that? And then a lot of times they're not even showing it on TV. So they got to buy pamphlets. They got to buy, get people to walk the street. All that costs money. They got to get people to make telephone calls. All that costs money. People ain't work for free.
Oh no, not in the Republican Party, they don't. You got to pay them folks before they do anything. And you got to and they have some big mouths and stuff, and they can eat a whole lot of money up. So that $45 million that he dumping into their campaign is just
he can spend that in 2 weeks.
A trickle in that they're in their political field and stuff there.
But
they have to be careful and stuff and everything that Trump don't get his hands on that money so he can pay for his legal fees and stuff.
That money is going straight to Trump.
Yeah, I know. He going to his pocket and paying his legal fees. Those attorneys and stuff waiting on that money. I got one other thing I want to make sure that I stick into this thing. We just had one of our political leaders and stuff, a lady there in Texas and stuff, who passed away and stuff. I guess a couple of days ago, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee passed away from having cancer, and I just want our audience to know that we just lost another icon. She was a very, very powerful person and stuff in politics and Congress.
Great woman.
Yeah. And
very smart.
She's gone. She is gone. So those politicians and stuff who were coming up behind us and everything, we and need to know and everything. The ones who are sitting up there and they're in their 80s and close to 90 years old, you need to think about letting those young folks come in and doing their job here and everything,
Man, you
because
think just like me. That's the same thing I told my wife. I said
yeah,
that woman should have retired when she was 64 years old
right, yeah, just
and
that's
had
it.
somebody prepped up
Have
already
somebody
to
prep
take
to
her
take her
place.
spot, and we don't do that. As politicians, as athletes, and as people, CEOs of these companies and stuff, you have to groom people to come in and take over and get out the way. Because most of them CEOs and stuff now, they work for close to $1 billion and everything now. And if $1 billion can't take care of you for the rest of your life, you in trouble, big trouble. So anyway, I just wanted to give my condolences and everything to Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, because man, I'm telling you, girlfriend was something else, and auntie over there in Los Angeles and everything, she needs to think about grooming somebody to come in and take her spot too and everything, because she's getting long in the tooth. So we need to,
That's the problem.
yeah,
That's why we had that problem with that judge.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to move some folks in there. Bring them young folks up. You got to let them have, give them their reign. Our our parents and everything gave us our reign. They didn't stop us, man. We got into our college and got out and getting our 20s and stuff, man. And they let us do our thing. They didn't stand in the way and say, "Now you ain't supposed to be doing this. Or get out of my way. I'm
You
gonna keep
ain't
on
ready yet.
going." Yeah,
You ain't
yeah,
ready yet.
yeah. You still wet there. You still wet and everything. So, as the old folks used to say, you still wet. Some of you folks out there, y'all know what wet means.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, the thing is that power is something, ain't it?
Oh man, it's a hell of a thing to give up. Hell of
Power
a
is
thing to
something.
give up.
Because it ain't the money. It ain't the
Yeah,
money.
it's the power. It's the notoriety that you have to
The
have, and
importance of it all.
you got to hold on to it. You gotta let somebody else grab them reins and stuff now
Power
and get out
is
and start doing
something
something else.
else. God bless her
Do
soul, and she wanted to run for mayor too.
who?
She, Miss Jackson, Representative Jackson Lee. She
She
wanted to
did.
run. Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, I think she lost.
Oh, I hadn't followed her after about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't been really looking at her and everything, but
Well, see, I watch
I
C-SPAN all the time. I
yeah.
watch C-SPAN at least 4 or 5 hours a day,
Mm,
almost. Not quite, but I
yeah.
know I watch it from 7 to 10. At
In the
least I
morning.
listen to it. I listen to it, yeah.
Oh, in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, and I listen to a
Uh,
lot of when they go into, these different meetings and stuff, you know, when they have committee meetings and all that stuff.
mm-hmm.
And, you learn about a lot about how people are thinking, what what things that they're doing. And right now the Republicans are not doing nothing because they're in control. All they want to do is make the Democrats look bad or try to make the Democrats look bad. They're not really implementing anything. They ain't getting no work done, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But the bottom line is that Crockett from Texas,
Mm-hmm.
don't play with her. That girl don't play.
Oh, jazz is something else, huh?
Woo, man, you better come to us straight, because if you don't, boy,
You better leave girlfriend alone, huh? She'd have moved past AOC, huh?
oh yeah, she didn't knock AOC out the box.
She's not AOC on the box?
Oh,
Okay.
AOC though just did a nice little presentation on the internet. She talked for almost an hour, and she was talking about how these people want to get rid of Joe Biden,
Yeah,
and
I
she
know.
wasn't having it.
Yeah.
She wasn't having it.
But have you noticed, ironically and stuff, Ted, that the younger folks and everything who have now started to come in and take over are wanting to. They are his strongest supporters and stuff out there. Not
Of
the
Joe
old,
Biden.
not his old folks and old friends and stuff. It's them young folks and stuff who are sitting there standing up for him. And what is going on, I don't know, because you look at AOC, you look at Jasmine, you look at all them, the young folks and stuff who just moving up or who just starting to get a name and stuff. They're the ones and stuff who are standing behind here. But it's them older 70, 60, 70, 80-year-old folks and everything that are saying, asking him to get the heck out of here. Some of his staunch supporters a long time ago. Let him go. But then you look at them and stuff, and they don't want to get out the way. Hey, man, I'm looking at Sherrod Brown. He's running for the Senate over there in Ohio. Hey, man, it's time for Sherrod to get the heck out of there and let somebody else take those reins. John Tester up there in Montana. Hey, brother, it's time to get out the way. You know, these young folks
And
and
they're
stuff.
not grooming nobody. Who they grooming?
Yeah, they're not grooming anybody. They just fighting for themselves, and they get the job and everything, and nobody's being groomed to take their spot, or for them to get out their way and say, "Hey, I need somebody else to come up in here and take my spot."
And not only that, need somebody. They need to take somebody they know that's going to do a good job, train them what you're doing,
Train
and
what
go
you
ahead
got.
on
Right.
and be
And let
ready.
him
So
and let he or she have access to your assets. And
there you
most of
go.
the time, those assets and stuff that you are holding on to are those staunch supporters and stuff that you got out there. You need to introduce them to your supporters and stuff and say, hey, look at this person. I got confidence in them. I need you to back them up because I'm getting out the way and I'm going to let them run because they're young folks. They got new ideas and they thinking outside that box that I keep telling people and stuff. You need to get the heck out of that box. Don't let people box you in. Think outside it. You know how the Republicans and stuff are doing, what they are doing, that they are not very smart about a lot of things and stuff. So you know how to get around them. You look at Jasmine. She gets around them. You don't bother me because I know what I'm talking about. And you can see it in her attitude. And they just back off of her. I watch them. They get off of her quick.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, people, we got to get the hell out of here. We way past our time here. I'm enjoying myself here, so I know Ted is too. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.